Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Literary Tasting. My name is Jessica.
My name is Annie.
And this week on A Literary Tasting, we are reading Don't Be in Love by
Liana? Ooh, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Cincotti.
Cincotti? I hope that's correct.
If
Cincotti.
not, sorry girl.
This is it right here. I got me a hard copy.
Cute.
Cute. Yeah, very cute. This book I found... Also, wait. Happy New Year.
Is it?
Wow. Let's not start the year that way. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had a wonderful, fabulous holiday. But our first read of the year, I picked this book. We were both kind of in a reading drought, and I was like scrolling on TikTok forever and ever and ever and ever trying to find a book.
I just was scrolling.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for anything in particular.
Yeah, I just, honestly, what I was looking for was something without smudge. I kind of wanted just to read something like a rom-com or a romance book or something that was just kind of romance only. I just needed a smutty break, especially following what we just read. Yeah, have that guilty look on your face. So,
if you haven't seen that episode, please go watch it. We read How My Neighbor Stole Christmas. Latest upload. Go watch it.
Yeah, and
or don't.
But you'll understand why I needed to read something smutless. So I saw a video about this book and saw that someone commented oh my god, no smut in this book, I loved it so much, and I was like, period. And then I did some research, and
frankly, we needed to be hosed down a little bit.
I was a little bit
smut.
I was a little bit
we
drenched.
We hosed down with a fire hose, from the fire department.
Yeah, I know in cartoons when they hit them with the hose and they fly away like that, like that. So I was like, yeah. As it turns out, Miss Liana self-published this book. She's, I think, 24. She's our age, 24, 25. Self-published. Definitely go get it. Support a girl. Support a girly who wants to be a writer. And yeah, you read this sweet little book. Also, I read that it was set in London, and it's my dream of life to move to London. So I was like, this sounds like it's right up my alley. I'm gonna be reading that. And it was. It turns out it was. Jessica might have some slightly different opinions. I don't care. I loved it.
Every week on A Literary Tasting, we do pair our books with a drink. This week, it's Poppy, because I haven't pooped in a few days, and I'm really hoping that I'll poop out of my butt after this. So, I'll let y'all know, I really need to poop out of my butt.
If there's a random jump cut, you know what happened.
It just cuts to you, just by yourself.
It's just me. You don't finish
you
that
episode. You go to drink the Poppy, and I'm like...
Yeah, so we're drinking Poppies today.
Tastes like I'm gonna shit out of my butt.
I fucking hate you.
So trigger warnings we have from this book are gonna be familial abandonment. For once, this is a book with not a lot of trigger warnings.
Yeah, for once. Yeah. Which, is, again, a nice breath of fresh air to not be hit with, a lot of triggering content. But if that is something that can affect you, I would say maybe don't read this, because they speak a lot about it. So let's get into our characters, into our fan cast. Here are our list of characters. Our main queen, our FMC, is going to be Adelaide.
Every romance novel author is with that name, Adelaide. It's every other main character's name is Adelaide. That's okay, it's a good name. And then we have Dorian, our love interest.
Yeah.
We also have her two friends, Sabrina and Mia, as well as
his bestie, James. James. All right, so
people named James, you better watch out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get you.
It's a scary name in this household.
Yeah.
So, who did you cast for... I see you have someone pulled up, so who do you cast for Dorian? So I'm assuming that's who you cast.
Sorry. I cast Lucien Leviscount. Probably not how you say that name. Probably not even close.
Who the fuck is that? He is fine.
He was in Emily in Paris, but I actually don't know him from Emily in Paris. You might recognize him from the Quinn app.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
He was recently on a Quinn original, and so he popped into my head because every time I go to use the Quinn app, his face is front and center.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the Quinn original yet.
Me neither.
It's good, let me know.
The Regent is called.
I will be clocked in. It's a little too Bridgerton for me, like the storyline.
Yeah.
I prefer something like... What's your favorite audio on the Quinn app?
Now I'm getting a little personal.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit too formal for my taste.
Yeah,
but he's super hot.
Yeah,
I love... That is a man supporting women. Being in the Quinn app.
Him and Andrew Scott, you have the keys to my heart.
Quinn, do you please send us a summer, please?
Now the Andrew Scott one, that I have listened to.
Please send us Andrew Scott.
Yeah, you pulled that up, and not only am I like, wow, he's hot, I also was like, I know that smile.
Now, good, those veneers are, they're there.
Yeah.
He is a little bit too old for the role, but frankly, I'm not picturing a 22-year-old man going anywhere near anyone's puss.
Fair enough.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, fair enough. So, this happens to me a lot when I'm trying to picture, like, the male main character. I just have a hard time picturing him.
It's normally just, like, the description of the man and then there's no face.
Yeah, but I found
he was top of mind for me.
That makes sense. That's a really good pick, honestly. I had a hard time picturing someone. However, I found this screenshot of a man on Pinterest that I was like, oh, this looks good. But, you know, in the situations where I really needed to picture a face, of course, I pictured Drew Starkey. But I really didn't picture anyone, honestly, because, like, it's just hard for me to picture a man that perfect.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's how it feels for me.
For Adelaide, I had just recently seen the new I'm gonna butcher the name. I don't care. I don't care if I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah.
So I was picturing Lily Rose Depp.
Oh, that's good.
Excuse me.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, she was amazing in that. She was really good. That whole movie was actually... At first, I was like, I don't know what to think. And now that I've sat on it, well, yes.
You know what to think?
I know what to think.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary.
I really want to see it.
Scary. It scared me. I didn't know. I thought it was going to be not silly and goofy, but I thought it was going to be like tongue-in-cheek. It was not tongue-in-cheek. There were rats everywhere. It was scary. Y'all, it was really scary. I was really scared.
I just thought of a good pick. Anyway, for him, Harris Dickinson. Have you seen Baby Girl?
No, but I've seen the ads. Also on Quinn.
Yeah. But still, he doesn't still quite fit the character the way I pictured him in my mind. But if they change things up, like, I could see him playing that role, for sure. Yeah, and he's also British. But for Addie, yeah, I picture her as someone very elegant, classy, bookish, short. So I pictured, she's supposed to have black hair, but I pictured Sadie Sink. I love her.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
She's so stunning, and I just love her.
She's so talented.
Yeah, I think she's awesome. So
yeah.
I picture Sadie Sink. Did you picture anyone for her girlfriends? There's Sabrina and Mia.
I pictured Sabrina Breyer.
Who's that?
Oh!
Okay, I gotcha. So I pictured Yara Shahidi. Do you know who she is?
That bitch on TikTok that makes the food from scratch?
What? No. What? What? The food from... Nara Smith? No! Okay, anyway, so let's get into it. We start the book opening. We jump straight into the fucking plot. We don't get a lot of backstory, which is honestly kind of nice for me.
I liked it.
I liked that. We walked in and I was like, oh, we're going straight into it. She did the backstory within one page, and I was like, period. I don't need to sit here and read about everything that happened your whole life.
And we don't.
Yeah. So we find out that Addie transferred from her old college to this new school in London. She's in her senior year at Townsend. She's on a scholarship. She spent the whole summer in London meeting her two new roommates, Sabrina and Mia, and it's like the weekend before school starts, and her and Mia are going to like this cute underground bar.
Sounds like so much fun. I wish I had done this.
I know. Fuck.
I should have.
Yeah. And so they get to the bar, and immediately upon walking in, it's like a secret bar too. They get there and they like give a password. They walk down the stairs.
Speakeasy.
Yeah. And as soon as they walk in, she gets bumped into by like the hottest guy she's ever seen, and she's like,
the way y'all. Okay, I will say, I hate to cut you off immediately, but this is the most unrealistic part of this book because I got approached by 3 men at the bar last weekend, which is crazy. All 3 of them, okay, sorry, if the men are watching this video, not only were they all ugly, but one of them came up to me and I swear to God, I could smell his breath from here. And I said, I don't know what I said. I think my face says enough normally.
Your face does say enough normally. I know what your face was giving. It was giving this.
No, it was giving one of these. Like a little, like it's even worse when you're kind of like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, never ever has this happened to me. Just so everyone's clear.
Oh no.
Never ever. Never ever.
And every weekend I'm like, this is the one.
It's happening tonight. You know how many times you and I have been like, tonight's our night?
You know what? I don't know what else to do. Oh, don't go on the dating apps. Your husband's not on Bumble. Okay, I'll go to the bar. Okay. Oh, don't go to the bars. Your husband's not at the bar. Oh, okay. My husband's at my job. Oh, don't date your coworkers.
Also, all my coworkers are just not who I'm interested in.
All my coworkers are women, and then there's like 4 men, and they're all married.
Perfect, awesome.
And then I try to hit on the clients, and they're like,
Me, whenever a hot client walks in, and I'm like,
usually have perfect posture.
yeah, and then he doesn't look me in the eye. Okay.
I don't look receptionist in the eye. Maybe he's too.
he's like
what? Too beautiful. No, because I'm like, they're judging me for being at the doctor.
Because they know what I'm here for. Yeah.
They know I'm here for stuff. The creature.
Ooh. So yeah, he bumps into her and he's like, oh, I had a bet with my friend. Turns out it's James, but he's like, my friend and I had a bet to see if he would dance with me. She's like, gives him a hard time. But
there was no bet.
Yeah. She gives in. They go to dance for like 3 seconds. Then she is like, yeah, I'm not from here. And then they end up leaving. And he's like, you never rode the tube? Let's go.
Also, where is Mia?
Right. She
very quickly abandons her friend at this bar.
Yeah. Well, I think she mentions that she tells her, but I'm more so like, Mia, you let her go with this man you don't know. Like, very quick.
No, I mean, like, if that man from Quinn was towing me out of the bar, we'd all be like, it's worth the risk.
Oh yeah, you know, I'd be like, have fun, girl.
It's worth the risk.
Yeah, it is worth the risk. The whisk. Yeah, so they, we get like a quick, like, we get on the tube, we're having fun, it's super flirty, la da da, and then we jump to the next chapter. She wakes up in the morning, she's like, yeah, we fucked hard. And I'm like, oh, period, girl, like.
And I'm so glad we didn't have to hear about it.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, period. And she's like, woken up the next morning, she's so excited to tell her girlies about everything, and then we hear a shriek from down the hallway, and it's Sabrina, and she's like, oh my god, you guys, my celeb crush, Dorian Blackwood, is back from wherever he's been, and he's gonna be at school this year, oh my god, and she runs up to them, pulls out a photo of him on the street. Lo and behold, it's the man from last night, the man who she just left in his bed.
When I read that, I'm not kidding, I said, oh, I was like, yeah.
We started strong.
I was like, oh, yep.
Okay,
yep.
Yeah, I'm there. Okay, interested.
I was like, yeah, she should.
I was like, oh, wow.
And then it all goes downhill from there.
Not for me. Went up. So now we start our classes. The first day, she's taking a class with this this businesswoman that she really admires, named like Sylvia or something. And she gets into class. Everyone sits down, and in walks Dorian. And
I'm sorry if you guys can literally hear me burping. I really do need to shit out of my butt.
That quickly?
No, but like I'm hoping it'll kick in by like tomorrow morning and I'll shit out of my butt before I leave.
Gotcha. So he walks in and he's like about to sit down. He locks eyes with her and he's like, fuck yeah, because he's like, and so he goes and sits right in front of her and she's like, oh my fucking god, like I cannot be seen with this man. I cannot tell anyone about this. I don't want to hurt my friend.
Yeah, and I think at this point it's so fair.
Yeah.
Because if you slept with Nicholas Galitzine, yeah, no, you just keep that to yourself.
Yeah.
For now.
It's gonna be great.
For now, you keep that to yourself. Yeah. You just
grave.
say, this is gonna kill her, so let's just move on.
That's going to my grave.
Yeah, no, like, and I the same with yours. Well, but in this scenario, she didn't know who it was.
Exactly. That's fair enough. But because now I know, I know what he looks like. I'm gonna do that to you. But like, if I didn't know what he looked like and then found out, I would take that to my grave. Mm-hmm. You would never know about it. Yeah. So she's like, she cannot find out about this. And so she's leaving class and she's walking down the hall and she gets pulled into an empty classroom. And he's like, hey, like, hey. And he's like, oh my god, what's up? And she's like, what's up? Well, first of all, she's like, should I act like I don't know him? I was like, girl.
She chewed.
Yeah.
She chewed this interaction. She said,
mm-mm. And he's like, wait, what? What? And she's like, because also she had Googled him.
He's an influencer.
Yeah, she had Googled him.
He's got 1 million followers on Instagram. He's got poppies on deck.
Yeah,
like
he's in a watch advertisement on a billboard. Okay, his father is a famous director. His mom is a famous actress. Like he's him. You know what I mean?
He was at the Nosferatu premiere for sure.
Yes. So she's like, mm-mm. And he's like, wait, what the fuck? Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna lie, she's a better woman than me. If I had not only slept with him, but also I was like, if I found out he was at the Nosferatu premiere, oh yeah, I'm on my knees in that classroom.
No, the thing is, actually,
she's better than me, and I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Even if I had sat in the classroom behind him and been like, yeah, this is dead, like, my friend is more important, whatever, the moment he pulled me by my arm into the classroom, closed the door, and like, put his arm up over my head, I would have been like,
my hands are tied.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my god, one time when I worked in Disney, I was standing and talking to a customer, and we were just chatting, whatever, and then we had these double doors that open, and like they were totally gonna open and either they were gonna shut on me or they were gonna open and hit me, and I look up and a man literally has his hand up on the door like this, one of my coworkers, and then he was just like, the door was gonna hit you, and then he just kind of pushed it and walked away, and I was like, oh, I thought about it for days.
Bro.
I might as well would have,
It happened to me once in high school. Yeah, I would have folded like a chair. But she's like staying really strong and she's like, no. And he's being really flirtatious and he's like, but the thing is, I know you're thinking about last night. Like, why were you gone when I woke up in the morning?
And to be fair to him, she was thinking about it.
Yeah, she was.
She was thinking about Crazy.
It's
like, and in her inner monologue, it is like taking everything in her to turn him down. But she's like, yeah, no. My new chosen family is worth more than this man.
Yeah. And so she's like, actually, also I Googled you and like, you are like the slut of London, so I'm not gonna date you. I have to focus on school. I'm on a scholarship. And yeah, I don't actually want you to tell anyone about this because, you know, I don't want to hurt my friend. And so he's like, you know what? I won't tell anyone, but you gotta tutor me. And she's like, all right, fucking fine. I'll tutor you, whatever. Okay. So, she agrees to tutor him. Now, he also tries to ask her out, obviously, in this moment, and she's like, fuck no. Now, we get a chapter of him. We get a couple chapters from his POV, which I liked that it wasn't, like, directly, like, her, him, her, him, her, him. I like that we only got, like, a couple, like, 4 or 5 chapters of his POV. Because I like to see things...
I don't want to hear what a man has to say.
Exactly. But I like to see things from their POV from, like, a romance perspective.
I want to see him yearn.
Exactly. Here and there. So I was like, I liked that. So there was one chapter of him talking to his sister on the phone, and he's at a paint class, and because he's like an artist. And when I tell you she kind of wrote my dream man onto a paper, I kind of almost lost my shit a little bit. And
yeah, mine's Henry.
She wrote,
but they're kind of the same,
low key. She wrote my dream man onto a paper, like.
Oh, I don't like that at all about us. I used to text my friend Mandy about how it would be good revenge on your ex to basically live in his walls.
Jess!
Hold on, there's more! And convince him that his house is haunted, but only do it around him. So, like, if he has roommates or something, like, when he tries to say, like, do you guys not hear the monstrous thumping on the walls at night? And then he thump. He goes to get the roommates. The thumping stops as soon as the roommates come in. They're like, what the fuck?
You were going through a lot.
There was something wrong with my brain back then. I had to go on medication to fix it. But I literally thought this was the funniest thing. Pranking your ex by living in his walls and convincing him his house is haunted.
Oh, honey.
But also gaslighting him.
Oh, darling.
To make it worse. I'm living in your walls, but you're the crazy one. Disclaimer, don't do that.
Yeah. Putting out there, not a good idea to do that.
I can't believe I've never told you that.
No. Oh, God.
No, like, when I say psychotic, I mean it literally. Like, there was something wrong with me.
Yeah. Oh, God. So, yeah. So he talks about, like, an ex that he has, mentions her briefly. Her name is Victoria. Now, we go back to,
yeah.
We go back to Addie's POV. I'm going to call her Addie because I really can't say Adelaide every single time. So we go back to Addie's POV, and we also find out she's working at a bookstore, which is, again,
cute.
So cute, and my dream. I applied to work at a bookstore. Like, I've applied to work at a bookstore maybe like 100 times in my life.
The way that you get rejected.
Every single time. And this is also where she meets up with Dorian to do his tutoring. Like, she'll literally shoves him in like a closet and she's like, do your work in there and don't come out and don't look at anyone and don't talk to anybody. And he, also the women, there's like these older women who run the bookstore that are like her girlies, and they're like boots gagged when they see him there because he's, you know, the socialite of London, and they're like, not you.
The old ladies are gagged?
Yeah.
I think the old ladies are gagged just because he's fine as fuck.
Well, yeah, that too, but they also are like,
You think the 60-year-old people knew who...
Yes, they do. They say that. They're like, you got Dorian Blackwood in the closet, bitch? You don't want to tell nobody.
I mean, that's like my dad knowing Tana Mojo.
No, that's like... Okay, imagine it, like, they try to make it seem like he's like the Harry Styles of, like, you know... Yeah, it's like, my dad knows who Harry Styles is.
Yeah, because of you.
Well, yeah. They know... because they get this job through Sabrina. And Sabrina's obsessed with him, you know? So they know who he is. Now, whenever he comes over to the bookstore for his tutoring, after a while he starts being like, let me walk you home, girl, because we're leaving this place kind of late and like it's dark out.
It's always raining in London.
Yeah, like, let me take you home. I want to make sure you get home safe. Like, you shouldn't be walking by yourself. Yeah, I know. Like, oh my god. And mind you, he doesn't have her phone number. She doesn't give him her phone number. She doesn't let him have it.
She's so strong.
I know. He only is able to email her or just pull up to the bookstore and hope that she's there.
One time I emailed my ex because I was blocked.
And so, there's also one scene where like they're tutoring in the back and Sabrina randomly shows up at the bookstore and she freaks out and shoves him behind the couch and he pulls her down with him.
And they somehow end up a dick in vagina, dead ass. Not literally, but like, this is one of my least favorite tropes is when, whoa, and we're suddenly 2 inches from each other's faces. I've never tripped and ended up 2 inches from someone's face.
I don't know, it was definitely not a trip. She pushed him and he was like, you're coming down with me.
Regardless.
Hot.
Okay.
Hot. Why would I not want to be in a forced close proximity situation? If I'm him.
Perhaps I'm not a forced proximity person.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
Perhaps I just think it's stupid.
Perhaps.
I'm just gonna stand up. Now it's not forced. What now?
Well, she clearly liked it because she
stayed there.
She stayed there. And I would have too. And yeah, so they have this moment and then he's like, okay, well, let's walk home. So on the walk home, he like pulls out his umbrella and they're walking. And he tries to ask her out again and she's like, no, dude, we cannot go out. We cannot. And he's like, why? And they end up outside her house. And she sees Sabrina come out on the balcony and she like shoves him and her under this like big tree outside their apartment building. And he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, okay, look, my roommate is obsessed with you. She loves you.
If I found out not only you slept with Nicholas Galatine, but then
you told him.
Here's my loser friend that emailed her ex one time.
Emailed you.
She's obsessed.
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah, here's my loser ex who is the founding member of your fan club.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's obsessed with you, which is why we came here together. And he literally goes, okay, well, I'll tell her that I don't like her. I mean, if I'm her, I'm like,
well, to her credit, she's like, you don't even, I don't think he's even seen her or met her.
No,
once.
He hasn't.
So he's only saying that. It's not that he's not interested in her. It's that he's
yeah.
only interested in Adelaide.
Yeah, he's not saying it in a
Which is why it's hot and sexy.
Exactly.
But if I found out that he's
it's not in a mean way. He's just like, well, girl, I don't like her. I don't know her.
For fangirls like us. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know her. I don't like her. I'll just tell. I mean, whatever. And she's like, wait, but no. And yeah, it was really hot. I was like, oh god, oh my god. And so he's like, okay, well, yeah, no. Now we move to the next day and we meet, or there's a scene of her walking to class with James. Recall, James is Dorian's friend with the platinum hair who saw them get together at the club that night. Okay, this is Dorian's best friend. And they're walking to the same class. They're walking to the same class, so they walk together. Okay?
When I saw that the friend was being introduced back, sans Dorian, I was like, lest this be a love triangle.
Something's fishy.
Something's afoot.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I don't like love triangles at all, especially because I don't like love triangles at all.
From the first...
Don't do this. What is the point?
From the third page, when it said platinum hair, I said, oh, he's gonna stir some shit up.
Well, also,
platinum hair.
You just want to fuck Dorian, don't you? You want to be able to, like, taste his dick inside of me, don't you?
Wait. Wait. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Okay.
No, and girl, I'm 10 toes down with that statement.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like,
his body's not in my bed still, basically. His side of the bed's not even cold yet.
Yeah, like,
and you're like all up.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a million girls at this school. Why me?
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously.
Well, I guess if it's Lily Rose Depp.
Fair enough. I mean, at this point, obviously, we don't know that he likes her, but like,
I knew.
Well, we know.
I knew something was afoot.
Obviously, we know
immediately,
and obviously, if you're the reader, you know. But like in the story, it's like, okay, maybe he's just trying to be friendly, whatever. But it's like, at the end of the day, that's your best friend. You've been friends since you were children. You know that your friend slept with this girl, thinks she's beautiful. Like at the very least, at the very minimum, has slept with this girl. Mm-hmm. Bro code. At the very minimum.
That's strange and weird. What the fuck?
Are men? I guess men.
Maybe if they like dated in high school, I'd be like, okay, like, still weird, but like whatever. It's not that deep. This was like 2 weeks ago.
This was literally 2 weeks ago. Body not cold.
Yeah, no.
Body not cold. Whoa. But they walk to class, and after she takes a seat next to Mia's like, who the fuck? That man is fine.
This goes nowhere.
Yeah, nowhere. I thought they were eventually gonna end up together.
I thought Sabrina was gonna end up with James. Why not set him up with James? Why not set her up with James?
Fair enough. I thought Mia from that comment, but I was
mean,
like, oh.
either one of them.
Yeah, for real. But no. No. And
I've got bigger plans.
Yeah, I've got bigger plans for you. We get another scene from Dorian's POV of him and James playing tennis together, and Addie gets brought up, and there's clearly some kind of like weird tension, obviously. Like this is when we get the maybe
we're just not gonna talk about her.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about her. There's clearly some kind of weird tension.
Oh my god.
If we start talking about Nicholas Gallatin and I suddenly was like, oh yeah, like me and Nick.
It wouldn't be.
Did you see Nick yesterday?
No, that's the thing. It wouldn't be we're not talking anymore. It would be we're not. You fucking hate me.
Yeah,
James hates Dorian too.
It's like I don't have to say much. Me calling him Nick and asking if you've seen him.
It's one of these.
Like you're closer. Yeah. Oh, have you talked to Nick recently? The fuck? Since when is he Nick to you? Like, the fuck?
No.
So clearly.
And if I'm Dorian, I'm gonna be like, you want to taste my dick in her puss, don't you?
Yeah.
If I'm Dorian, I'm being mean about it.
Honestly, he'd be within his rights.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird as fuck.
What the fuck? Like,
and also, like, I feel like James sought her out too.
He did.
Weird as fuck.
There's one thing about, I thought at first he was literally just being nice because he was like, oh, you look lost, let me help you get to class. But then it was like, okay, you're seeking out this relationship. Like, you know that I slept with her.
That's weird.
What the fuck?
Also, they never address it.
True.
James and Dorian never address it.
You're so right.
Yeah, if you did that to me, I'd be like, dude, you don't fucking like me, do you?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I wouldn't even be mad. I'd just be like, you don't like me.
I'd be sad as fuck.
Yeah.
You
don't like me.
You don't respect me, at the very least.
Yeah.
Now, we do then get a scene back to Addie. This is when things started to get really scary for me, okay? In terms of Dorian. We get a scene where she has like a shift at the bookstore, and all of the older ladies are there having their book club, and he's in the back doing his tutoring or whatever. And she comes to like sit with them for a little bit, and they're all chatting, and they're like, wait, you have a man here? Like, what the fuck? And he walks out, and all of the older women are gagged boots, like jaws hit the floor. Like,
that's what I want, man. I want to bring my man around places and have people be like, oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Or I want them to at least be like, oh, like that makes sense for her. Even if they're not attracted, like I want them to be like that. I see how she got there. I totally see how she got there. They're perfect together.
They're like, you chomped on.
Yeah, you look great together.
Yeah, and there's a really cute scene where like the women start kind of like questioning him and being like, why aren't you guys together? What the fuck? Like, don't you think she's fucking stunning and beautiful and gorgeous and smart? And he's like,
well,
yeah.
Yes.
He's like, yeah, I do. And she's sitting there like,
oh, yeah.
And she's like, wait, but he doesn't look like
not the bone.
The way I literally trauma blocked it.
Both of us just moved on then.
I can't. Yeah, and he's just like, she's like, wait, but he's not being sarcastic. Like, he looks really earnest about it. And I was like, oh, fucking fuck me.
She's a little bit annoying in the way that she, like, refuses to admit that he has feelings for her. Mm-hmm. Because, like, girl, he's coming around all the time. Mm-hmm. Every time you guys hang out, he's like, we should get married.
Yeah.
Simply. And she's like, I don't know, like, we're just friends. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like she genuinely believes that to her core. It's not like she's no, we're just friends, shut up. You know? It's like she's genuinely like, he and I will never work out.
Yeah.
Staring wistfully out her window.
Yeah, no, but he's clearly in this moment, like, he's looking at her, like, with heart eyes on, and it's really
He's always
sweet.
looking at her with heart eyes on.
Yeah, it's really sweet, and this is the moment when I threw my book over my shoulder, and I was like, I have to take a long walk in the snow. Because I was really feeling it.
To take all my clothes off and lay down in the snow right now.
Exactly. And they're like, well, you need to ask her out. And he's like, I tried to. She doesn't want to. I tried. Bring back memories. Yeah. And then they take another walk home from the bookstore together in the rain. And he asks her to please go to the dinner that's happening at Townsend the next night with him, and she's like, no, I'm not going to that. And he's like, okay, well,
I want Amanda asked me to do things.
I know, to do a ball with him. He's only like begging. He's like, please go with me. And she's like, I'm not going to that. And he's like, well, both your friends are going, and James is picking them up tomorrow. So
what now?
Yeah, you have to come. And she's like, no.
Well, okay.
No, I'm not going. I don't want to see you there anyway.
So now we've gotten to the point that I would like to say something. So James, Sabrina, and Mia are now friends outside of Adelaide too.
Right.
If I'm Sabrina and I know how bad I want Dorian, the way I'm in James's phone crazy. The way I'm in James's phone crazy.
Yeah.
And like also, there's no conversation between Addie and James that James has to keep this secret, because if Sabrina had asked James to put her on, he would have been like, well, he slept with Addie.
Well, simply no, he slept with Addie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why did that conversation never happen? A. And B, if I realize, okay, I don't have a chance with Dorian, if I was gonna bump into him at some point, the way I've been spending time with James, then I would have. Maybe I should just go for James. I'm picking one of them. Yeah. I'm not gonna play this whole I'm gonna wait for Dorian. No. Yeah. And frankly, I can homie hop, so I don't care anyway. I'm going for James. Next best thing, babe. Yeah. I'm in there.
If I'm Sabrina, I'm like, look, choose. Because some of us mama needs to eat.
Yeah.
So choose.
But Sabrina doesn't know that at this point.
Yeah.
But
yeah. So anyway, she's like, Addie's like, yeah, I'm not going. Or no, she's like, okay, fine, I'll go. But we can't hang out there because Sabrina can't find out about that we know each other. And he's like, okay, fine. And walks away. And she's like, oh, fuck, wait. Me.
And
I was like, oh, he chewed her there. He was like, I'm gonna leave her wanting more, and he did. So the next night, they all end up at the dinner. They go to Townsend, this college, and it's very lush, beautiful, like decked out to the gods.
And all of a sudden, breaking news: CNN breaks the story first. International travesty. Victoria and Dorian are back together. This is international news.
International travesty.
The Pope
tweeted it.
The Pope tweeted.
Yeah.
Victoria, his ex, and Dorian are back together.
Yeah.
Not only are they back together, but there's photos to prove it.
Yeah. And she runs outside to go look at her phone because she can't look at her phone during the, like, inside the thing.
She's crashing out.
Yeah, she runs outside. She's like, oh my god, I have to look at this. So she's crashing out because she just can't admit shit to herself. And he finds her outside and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he manages to, like, grab her phone out of her hand and he's like, bitch, not you Googling me.
He's like,
not you Googling me, girl. And she's like, oh, fuck me. And she tries to get her phone out of his hand.
Here's the thing, is that, like, she's sitting there, like, yelling at him, like, arguing with him.
Yeah.
Meantime, between time, he's like,
Yeah, he's like, you're Googling me. Like, I don't know what, you're caught, bitch. Like, what the fuck?
And she's still trying to deny it.
Yeah.
That was pissing me off so bad. I was like, girl.
But she tries to grab her phone out of his hand, and somehow, some way, she falls into this pond. And
get a better plot device. A fall is not a plot device.
She falls into the pond, and then when he pulls her out, and then Mia runs up, and she's like, girl, we gotta go home. Sabrina is fucking losing it. We got to go. And lo and behold, Sabrina is actually on her deathbed.
This would be a good time to tell her, I think. She's already having a bad day.
Yeah, just be
might
like,
as well be like, well, okay. Okay.
Now that we're here, let me just tell you.
something bad happened.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, also, like, it would be a good time to tell her, because, like, at this point, they've been tutoring for, like, a month or so.
Yeah.
Like, a little bit of time. It's like, not only did I sleep with him, we're not together.
We don't know each other that well.
But
yeah,
I am tutoring him.
Yeah.
Dude, actually, don't ever, if this ever happens, just don't talk to me ever again. Just unfriend me and don't talk to me. Because if I was already having a bad night and you looked me dead in my face and said I slept with Nicholas Gallatin, I think I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna get a knife.
Ooh, then why would you say she should tell him now?
Because it's the best time. Frankly, it is the best time.
The best time would have been 3 weeks ago when it happened.
I disagree. I think she could have kept it a secret. But the fact that she continues to see him and thinks it's okay to keep it a secret, because at this point they are friends. They haven't kissed. They haven't really done anything.
Yeah.
They're just hanging out. Like, regardless, you need to tell her.
I think,
the sleeping together, I think if you can commit to not seeing him and you can commit to taking that to your fucking grave, I think it's fine. She doesn't need to know. Because that's going to kill her. Yeah. But if you're going to continue seeing him, if you don't have enough willpower to be like, I'm not going to see him in any capacity.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you deadass don't like him and you're like, we slept together, but that's literally it. We're not going to see each other ever again. Like, okay, fine. But after this night, honestly, I'd be like, okay, you need to tell her. Maybe let her stop crying first and do it the next day or a couple of days from now, but you need to tell her now. Mm-hmm. Also, this night, when she shows up to the party, like, when she first walks in, they, like, lock eyes and they're, like, having a conversation with their eyeballs. I'm
so glad you brought this up. I hate when authors do that. Like, they're, like, communicating via facial expression, and I'm picturing... you know, like when you're having a conversation with yourself in your head and you're like you're alone in your apartment and you're cleaning and you're like, that's what I was picturing in the middle of this gigantic ass ballroom. You cannot read what somebody is saying via a smirk on their face.
No, at all. You cannot.
And also, if you want them to have this conversation,
not mouth, like, I cannot read lips.
No, absolutely
From that
not.
far, I'm blind.
I can barely hear.
Yeah, so. I'm blind. But, oh my god, like, so cute. He loves her. He was like, oh, you look so pretty. Oh my god.
But, like, just have them say that to each other.
For sure.
It was annoying. And also, if it was just once, I'd be like, whatever. I probably wouldn't have noticed if it was once. But she does this quite a few times throughout the book, and I don't
It
like
does
it.
happen again, yeah, it does.
I'm so glad you brought that up. We're on the same page on that one.
Yeah. And so the next morning, she's like, man, Sabrina is down fucking egregiously. What am I gonna do? So she goes for a long run to her favorite coffee shop, and she runs into this older gentleman named Martin, who is like a man that she met and who's every day is sitting outside this coffee shop that he loves.
I will say, this is like the coziest part of this book and like the sweetest part of this book is that she just has all these like friends throughout the city where she just like is friendly and kind and polite to, and it's like, damn, I wish I didn't have anxiety. I could be so much nicer. I mean as fuck because I have anxiety, because I'm like, I'd simply rather avoid eye contact with the receptionist at the doctor because I'm too embarrassed to be at the doctor, versus I could just say, you look really pretty today, and like make her the happiest she's ever been.
Bro, that happens to me so much. The other day I saw this girl with the cutest outfit on when I was walking the metro, and I swear to God I was walking past her and I went, and then kept going, and I was like, I would have made her day, but I'm just so anxious I just couldn't fucking say anything. It's okay. I will become better in 2025.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But she sees this man, and he's like a traveler from New York, and he's like, oh, I'm heading back to New York tomorrow, but I didn't complete everything on my bucket list. She's like, oh, like, let me see it. And he shows her the bucket list. It has a couple things on it, like going to London Eye, kissing a British person, something else on the list. I can't remember. There are a couple other things. And she's, going in a telephone booth, a couple other stuff. And she's like, oh, like, that's okay, you completed the other stuff. And he's like, why don't you keep it and finish it for me? And she's like, no, like, that's yours. He's like, no, girl, you keep it, you finish it. She's like, okay. She goes to
super cute.
So cute. And he's like, you can write me a postcard. Oh, one of the things was write a postcard to someone in the States. And she's like, you can write me a postcard later and tell me all about it, which is so cute. And so she's like, okay, and she takes
That's a fun plot device. That's a really fun plot device.
That was really, really cute. Yeah, I loved that part of it.
Fun.
Yeah, and so she...
Also, like, really unique. That's a really unique idea.
I know.
I think. I've never read anything like that before.
Yeah, that was very unique, and I loved how it was used throughout the story very much.
Comes back later.
Yeah.
Because it also seems pretty small.
Yeah.
Because the way she kind of is just like, whatever.
She threw it in very, like, yeah. He doesn't really get brought up again, the man specifically, but, like, the other stuff gets brought up. But anyway, she goes inside the coffee shop and she runs into her favorite professor, Sylvia, whoever, and she's like, why don't you come over and sit with me? And she's like, oh my God, call back to the fact that she's like obsessed with school and really hardworking and like really wants to stay in London. We kind of find out throughout the story, we haven't been talking about it so much, but that she doesn't have a good relationship with her family. She was abandoned by both her parents at a young age and had to go live with her aunt.
Sorry for laughing, but it does a little bit remind me of how Doofenshmirtz was born. No, neither of his parents bothered to show up the day of his birth.
I remember that. No, I didn't. But I remember that episode. Yeah, it was so stupid. But yeah,
That's funny.
But not the being abandoned by your family. No, that's not funny. The Doofenshmirtz episode was funny. But we find out about her family life and that like she's basically like, I got here on my own. She's like, I got here on my own and I want to stay in London post-grad and I need to get a job. And the only way to do that is to get a good recommendation letter. Getting one from this professor in particular would be amazing because she's incredibly successful.
She's world-renowned.
Yeah, and so the
professor tweeted about her.
Yeah, so the professor's like, yeah, I'll write your recommendation. Like, you're incredibly talented. You're amazing. You've been so hardworking.
But the board doesn't like who you've been hanging out with. And it's clear that she's talking about Dorian. Actually, wouldn't it be funny wouldn't it be funny if she was just talking about Sabrina? She's like, that bitch annoying. She's gonna drag you down.
Yeah, she'll drop her. Move out.
Well, regardless.
Yeah, she's like, stay away from Dorian.
And all she says is the board. Who is the board? Because
of what? Pray tell. What? The board of what?
Maybe the school?
The school. It's a school.
But they can't kick her out for hanging out with Dorian. You get expelled for hanging out with a hot man.
The president of the school?
The dean.
The dean of the school. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. The dean of the school is like, I wanted to date him. You're gone. You're out. Bye. She tries to avoid him, but soon after that, she's in the library one night. She falls asleep there by accident, and he like wakes her up, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here, asleep?" And she's like, "I'm trying to fix my computer. It's broken."
Oh my god, that's so real. Honestly,
yeah.
Crashing out because your computer had a conniption.
Yeah, and so she's just like, she just falls asleep. So he's like, "Actually, I can help you fix it." So he starts helping her. First of all, I love a fix-it man. So he starts to help her fix the computer, and while he's doing his thing, they're chatting a little bit. You know, doing a little witty banter thing, and which I will say I really enjoyed their banter, their witty back and forth. Not too much on your side.
Not too much on my side, only because like it was so obvious that she liked him and she just wouldn't admit it, and so it was just annoying.
I love a little witty banter. Love it. And so yeah, while they're there, while they're about to leave, she drops her book bag and he picks up the postcard that she got from Marty or Martin, and that has all her bucket list stuff on it. And he's like, "Oh, like what is this?" And she's like, "That's not mine." And he's like, "What the fuck? Yes, it is. Who else would it be?" And she's like, "Martin." And he's like, "Who the fuck is Martin?"
I love when a man gets jealous.
I know. He gets jealous so much, especially every time
I need a man to be jealous over me. No man is ever going to be jealous of me because I'm insane.
It's not true. You're not insane. Stop saying that.
Did you hear the story about living in the wolves?
That was a long time ago. That was like 6 years ago.
That was a while ago. But I still think it's funny
so funny. But it was 6 years ago.
It's funny that I thought that with my own brain. I thought that was the funniest thing. By the way, I never planned on putting that plan into action. I just thought it would be funny if I did it. I just thought it would be funny if I did it.
Yeah. But she...
I still kind of do. I think that would be funny.
Even like, especially when she'll bring up James, like literally on some like friendship shit, she'll bring up James and he'll be like, "You talked to James? When? Why? For what reason? Did he, what? He like is so jealous about it.
Well, because I'd be mad too. I'd be like, why is my friend pussy blocking me?
No, for sure, but she doesn't know, obviously.
She knows!
No. Well, she's stupid. She doesn't know. Well, she doesn't know that James likes her. She doesn't know that. Not yet, anyway. And so...
How could you not know, girl?
Because she's too caught up in what's going on with her and him.
Well, I guess to be fair, he does invite all three of them to events.
Yeah. He invites her and all the girls. I think right now she has no idea. I think he's just being friendly.
We knew something was afoot because we're reading a romance novel.
Exactly. We knew. She didn't know now. Later, it's like, okay, girl, come on. But anyway, he's like, well, I guess you kind of already kissed a Brit. So.
Unless you kiss somebody else. And she's like,
girl.
But I love that he said that.
Yeah, I know. I loved it too. He's like, I didn't forget. And we can kiss again if you want to. I don't know. Well, he meets her back. I know. At wait, what? Oh, okay. So a couple nights later, it's like midterms, and the girls are going to like a movie premiere or something with Sabrina's dads. And so they leave the apartment, and she's like, I'm gonna stay home alone. I'm gonna have a little girls' night to myself.
Oh, staying at home.
I love staying at home. Oh my god, this would be me as fuck. Like, y'all go do what you want to do. I need to stay here. So she is like getting ready to like paint her nails, and she sees the neighbor's cat, Kurt, on the balcony, and she's like, fucking Kurt, you're always around. Like, get off of my balcony. And so she goes out there to like swat him away. And she's like leaning over. So here's what I think's happening. She's leaning over the edge of the balcony on this side, like pushing into her stomach. Because we were talking about the
logistics of this.
Yeah, she's leaning over the side, like literally leaning to push him over this way. I did not like how my arm looked just then.
But where is she pushing him?
Onto the next balcony. So I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the balconies are literally like side by side. So like Maureen's balcony is right here, and her balcony
why
is
does
right
she
next
have a
to
balcony if they're on the first floor?
Because I think some apartment buildings are just built weird.
On my balcony is a rug I didn't want to clean, so it's just out there.
So while she's trying to get swat the cat off her balcony, Dorian, she's like about to fall, and Dorian catches her. Hold on, how'd you get in my house? But yeah, we don't question the fact that he's in there.
Inside?
Yeah, he's in her room.
Oh, I thought he was outside on the porch and somehow got in. Like, I thought that he was, like, so she's on the balcony, he's on the ground, she falls off the balcony, all the way falls off, he catches her, and then somehow gets inside.
No. She's leaning off the side, like, she's, like, leaning on the balcony, and she's about to fall, like, topple, and he grabs her from behind, pulls her back, and they walk back into her room.
That makes so much more sense.
Yeah, but then the question is, how did you get into my house, and why she doesn't ask that question.
That begs the question, I think, that brings me to my point of, I think that there is something to be said about her writing, and maybe if she had, like, a bigger publishing house, if, like, maybe this would have not been overlooked, but there's a lot of things that just kind of, like, happen with no explanation, and aren't super clear who she's talking about. I think this is a good example of this. And I will tell you later my examples, but I think this is a great example of like, wait, we missed a step. And I think it's a little distracting from the story to have to go back, and you said you read it a couple times, I read it a couple times. It's a little distracting to go back and be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So.
For sure. However, I will say, I agree with you. I agree with you on this. However, I will say that seeing as how she's our age and self-published, it's very hard to get your book sold with a publishing house. So
I guess that's true.
It's hard. So, I still say kudos for even putting a book out there.
Oh no, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, she should have been with a publisher. She was stupid for not doing that. That's not what I meant. I just meant that I'm going a little bit easy on my criticism because I think it was unclear, but also I think that books that maybe don't have as many errors are because 50 different people had a hand in this book coming out, and I don't think this is the case for this one.
Yeah, okay.
So, if anything, I'm going easy on her because, I couldn't write a book, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Whether 50 people helped me with it or not.
Yeah. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. He lets himself in, and he's like, I don't know what you got going on right now, and I don't really want to ask, but you gotta put your pants on because we're leaving. And she's like, wait, what the fuck, where are we going? And he's like, just come on. So he puts her in the car. He has a driver. And he takes her to his art class. His art class.
Yeah, this one would not have been me. He takes her to his art class, and they paint a little painting together. It's like a little catharsis. And of course, his painting is good because he's talented. This would be so embarrassing for me. If you took me to a painting class and you said paint something, I would be like, no, I'm actually leaving. I can appreciate art, but man, I cannot paint.
Well, she's not in the story, she's not a fantastic artist either.
It doesn't matter. That's embarrassing. I'm not picking up the paintbrush.
Also, I'm not a fantastic painter either.
That's not true. She's lying.
Okay. Well, compared to what he seems like he can do, I would be like, this is humiliating.
She's still lying.
Okay. Well, regardless, I almost shed a tear reading this scene.
It was very pleasant to read.
It was very pleasant for me.
I was a little distracted. That's on me. I was a little distracted because I can't do anything without being embarrassed. So.
Yeah, and then they had this whole, like, it was just, they had this whole thing where they were talking about love, and he was like, he clearly was telling her without actually telling her that he was like, girl, I fucking love you. Like, what the fuck? And it was just so cute. And he like, gave her his t-shirt. Oh, one of the things on the list was to get a shirt that was, or get something that was London related, and he gave her his t-shirt. It was just, the whole scene was just very fucking cute, and I was about to fucking die. I don't annotate books. I annotated the fuck out of this. It was just with every scene where I was about to throw my head against the wall, okay? Yeah, that's how much I liked him.
You know what? This is your red, white, and royal blue.
This is my red, white, and royal blue.
It's like, it might not be the best book ever written, but it's mine.
I love this book. I really do.
This is your red, white, and royal blue.
Like, I genuinely, like, I think she wrote a very specific, like, dream that I have for myself that I feel like I will never have. You know what I mean? Like, something that I feel like it is so unattainable and so unreachable, and, like, not something like my perfect man, my perfect scenario, like, everything I want for my life, and put it on paper. Mm-hmm. Bitch, I was crashing out. Like, I was actually crashing out. So, yeah. When I tell you my notes literally are just, what kind of note is this?
It no way.
Just the arrow. Anyway, so
you literally, it no way.
It no way was the note I wrote there. It no way. People be highlighting and writing like whole paragraphs.
Okay, you know what? Sorry to interrupt, but people be highlighting smut scenes in books. So you know what? Annotate however you want.
Right, thank you. It no way. Literally, it no way.
And you know what? I understand that.
Thank you.
No way.
Mind you, I'm sitting at my desk at my work writing it no way. Oh god. So after this night,
it no way.
I'm like crashing out.
Your coworkers are like, she must be reading something really important to be annotating it like that.
Yeah, she must be doing schoolwork.
In your head, eat no way.
Eat no way. Eat no way.
You're Scottish now.
It's no way.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's. So,
eat no way.
Oh my god. So, we go back to Dorian's.
Me when I'm in Epcot and I'm on the Frozen ride.
On God, literally.
No, because it in Norway.
It in Norway. We go back to Dorian's POV for a sec, quick chapter, and we see him later on that night after the date wraps up, and he is at Victoria's house because she called him in a tizzy like, my door's broken, I need you to come fix my lock. And he's like, okay. So he pulls up and he's like, okay, I'm gonna help you fix your door. And she's like yappering in his ear, yelling at him because I guess she asked him like what his plans are post-grad, and he told her, I want to open an art studio and move in with James. And she's in his ear telling him like, you dumbass idiot, why would you want to live with someone and also open an art studio?
She's like, you want to be a poor person that lives with another person?
You want to be a
person that has a poor person job?
A struggling artist? Are you insane? And he's like, okay, damn, like, what the fuck?
She's like, I hate poor people, so you actually can't do that job. And then he's like, well, perhaps we should just break up so that way you don't have to date a poor person. And she's like, wait, no, I want to date.
No, and not even that. He's like, in his inner monologue, he's like, I didn't know we were still dating up until 10 minutes ago. I thought we had been broken up for months.
Because she's been with other guys all summer.
Yeah, he like lists out like 10 different guys' names. Damn.
And God, I wish that were me.
And so he like puts down his tools and he's like, have a good one. And he walks out.
But the fact that he still showed up there for her.
I know. She called like, I need help, and he showed up.
And the way that I could... A few weeks ago, when I was still dating someone, I was getting followed and recorded on my run home. And I texted him that because he's a big, huge, strong man. And I was home alone in my apartment, and I was scared to be here by myself. The way he didn't text me back until the next day.
Once when an undergrad,
my lips have to quiver a little bit because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, once on undergrad, we had men coming to our house for like 2 days straight to fix our like air conditioning thing in our house. And the first day they were there, the men were like kind of making me feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I was home alone for like the whole week because my roommates were out of town. And I texted my boyfriend at the time and was like, please can you, he was in Nova at the time, and I was like, please can you come back down like a day early because he was supposed to come back the day after. And I was like, can you please come back down and like spend the night with me? I'm like a little bit of scared to be here by myself. Like they know I'm here by myself. Mm-hmm. They know my roommates are in here. Like they're here with me all day long. Like I just don't want to be alone. They know how to they have a key to get in the house. Like I don't want to be by myself. And he was like, no. And I was like, but I'm like, genuinely feel afraid. Like, he was like, I don't understand why the fuck you're freaking out. Like, it's not that serious. Like, they're not gonna do anything to you. And I was like, okay. And I was like, but I'm literally just telling you I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. And he was like, but I don't get it. Like, why would you be they're not gonna do shit to you.
Did he have a car to get himself down there?
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of person you kill yourself in front of just to change the trajectory of your life. I'm serious.
Yeah. Ooh. That day I was like,
And you guys dated for a year after that? Thank God we're out of that place, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, one of us is.
So, yeah, she runs out after him and she's like, but wait, I still want to date. And she kisses him.
She's so mean.
Yeah, and in his inner monologue, he's like, well, you know what?
What's-her-face isn't gonna fuck me, so.
His inner monologue is really giving, like, I don't feel like I'm worth any more than this. So, I'll just kiss her back. And so, which is really sad. And he kisses her back. But then he immediately, like, pushes off of her and he leaves. And so then later in that chapter of still in his POV, we get a little scene of James asking him if he can ask Addie out. And Dorian's like, I guess.
My side of the bed, her side of the bed is still warm from when we fucked. And you're sitting here, well, I want to fuck her.
Also,
well, why don't you jump off the building?
As my closest friend since we've been children, you shouldn't realize you shouldn't want to, but you should also realize that I am literally, you know that I am in school only to please my mother. I don't give a fuck about this tutoring. Why am I going all the way to this bookstore to get tutored by her 3 times a week?
And I'm
walking her home afterwards, showing up to her house all the time. Like, you know that something is up. You know that I like her. At the very least, you understand my physical verbal cues as my friend.
Maybe I'm not telling you I'm obsessed, but I'm
obsessed. You know me. You're my friend. Mm-hmm. You dead ass don't realize I love her. And you dead ass are sitting here like, I'm gonna ask your friend out, girl.
Just because we haven't fucked in a couple months, you think that you... No. And normalize saying no.
Normalize saying no.
What? No.
Are you out of your fucking mind? No, and also we're not friends anymore.
There's also so many people that you can get with. Because not only are you at school, but you also have like all the dating apps and you're rich as fuck.
Right.
You can date anyone you want.
You could take the pick of her 2 roommates.
Frankly, go fuck Victoria.
You could take the pick of her 2 roommates.
That's true. Both of them want you.
Like, hello?
That's true.
My God.
But neither of them are Addie. Okay, girl.
Like, what?
Like, what?
So, we get some scenes now of Dorian and Addie hanging out a lot more, getting closer, learning more about each other's pasts and their lives and their families and all that stuff. And they're still going through her list of bucket list things, so he convinces her to write a postcard home to her aunt, who she has not spoken to in like 5-6 years.
Because her aunt took her in when she was
25,
and Addie was 15.
Yeah,
that's a big sister.
Yeah, that's a scary age to suddenly have a teenager living in your house.
That's us right now,
bro. I thought about it. I was like, that's me today taking in a teenager. I'm scared of teenagers, genuinely.
Well, no. Also, I don't have that kind of money. So.
That too. I don't have that kind of money to be taking care of a child. Like, that'd be a lot of responsibility. I would be so scared to fuck them up.
And she wasn't the best like parent to her, but she was a good guardian. She always had food on the table. Yeah.
She was doing her best. Mm-hmm. She was doing her best. But, you know, also on Addie's side, like, there was a lot going on for her too. She was like freshly abandoned by her parents. And so it was just like, there's a lot going on there. So he convinces her, like, he kind of like nudges her at least to like write a letter to her aunt. And so she does and sends it off. So back to Addie, we get a scene of her and she goes to James, and again, I don't know how James does not realize that, like, I don't know why I'm trying to push myself into this equation, because Addie's like, so tell me about Victoria.
Yeah, no, literally, like, that would have been enough for me to go,
oh, let me remove myself. Like, they're clearly obsessed with each other. And he's still in that moment like, oh, let me tell you the tea, let me tell you the guas. And he's like, they met when they were 17, he was immediately so in love with her.
Frankly, at this point, if he was really about it, that was a good time to sabotage.
Yeah.
Because he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, Victoria was using him, and now he's starting to realize that. If I'm James...
Well, he ends it by saying, but I can't do anything about it. He loves her. like currently.
I disagree. I don't think it was sabotage. I think that was his honest opinion.
No, yeah.
If I'm him, I'm sabotaging.
I don't think it was purposeful sabotage, but it definitely like threw out some sabotage in there by accident.
Right. Purposeful sabotage.
It wasn't purposeful sabotage, but it was a little. He was playing the saboteur a little bit. So then, of course, as happened several times coming up, photos of Victoria and of Dorian get leaked to the press. Okay, and these are photos of them on that night.
Yet again, if it's happened in a 1D fanfic, don't put it in your book.
Photos of them.
I'm gonna put that on merch.
Photos of them that night after the paint class, after he went to fix her door, them in the parking lot kissing, get leaked to the press, and she tells everyone in the bookstore about it, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And so she tells him, like, don't even bother coming to tutoring, I'm fucking busy. Because she's like, I don't want to fucking see him. This is so humiliating for me. We went to have that really romantic date.
I
then he went to kiss someone.
I would have blocked him.
I would have fucking lost my shit.
Yeah.
But he shows up anyway to walk her home. He doesn't show up for tutoring, but he shows up at the end of her shift to walk her home. I'm going to launch myself out of your window. Oh my god. I just got goosebumps.
He knows her.
He loves her. He still showed up to walk her home. Are you kidding? That is so cute.
Need that.
Hashtag need that. God. And so on the walk home, he invites her to the Halloween party that James is throwing. Even though they don't fucking celebrate Halloween in London or in the UK. James, what?
We don't. Is that an American thing?
She was like, they're not going out in the Playboy Bunny costumes like that. Deadass. Exhibit A. He has to throw a whole party at the Tiffany's mansion in order for them to have somewhere to wear a costume. Yeah. I mean, unless I'm really...
And they eat beans on toast?
Imagine.
Are you guys okay over there?
Seriously. Unless I'm really fucking wrong, I'm taking this off of the knowledge of our friend who lived there for like a year and a half. UK people, if I'm off base, let me know. She's like, no, I'm not going to that. Fuck no. Things to do.
The idea of turning down a Halloween party is, frankly, that is a language I don't speak.
First and foremost. Second of all, I love that somehow, some way, we still managed to throw a Halloween scene in here again, even though we're in the UK. Thank God. I love a Halloween scene. We've said it before. We'll say it again. Halloween scene.
The one thing that can stay from a One Direction fanfic is a Halloween party.
I want a Halloween party in every book I read. I don't care what book it is. I don't give a fuck.
Put it in fucking A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Put it in The Second Housemaid. Put it in everything. I want a Halloween scene.
Needs to be in there. I read the entire Second Housemaid book in a day.
Wow.
Well, I read it at work in a day.
Period.
And it got so bad, I was like, this phone needs to start ringing. I basically unplugged it. I was like, no, I'm not answering that.
Yeah. So, as they're walking, yeah, she's like, no, I'm not going to that. And so, he pulls her into like an alcove. On the walk home, it's obviously raining. He pulls her into an alcove, drops his umbrella, and he's like, what the fuck? Please. I want you.
Yeah, like, she's being
very, like...
She's leading him on. I mean, she's leading him on because she likes him, but she's leading him on.
She's being very, like... She's pushing him away really hard. And he knows that she doesn't actually want that. She's self-sabotaging. And he's like, stop. Cut the crap. Like, I know that you want this. Stop. And they have their kiss in the rain moment that sent me into a tizzy. I literally was a tumbleweed around my apartment. I was just rolling on the floor like a dumbass.
An exercise ball.
Yeah, I was tumbleweeding down the hallways of my apartment building. It was really scary for me.
People are opening their doors. Oh.
He
closed that.
He in this scene like did a lot for me.
It was serious.
It was really scary. It got really scary. And then in the middle of it, she remembers that she's like, I shouldn't be doing this. And she pushes him off her. And she's like, yeah, we can't do this. I can't, we shouldn't do this. I can't be in a relationship. I gotta focus on school. I gotta focus on me. And I couldn't love someone. I can't fall in love with you. I can't be in love with you. I'm not gonna fall in love with you.
Condescending, in my opinion.
Yeah, she says...
No, it wasn't that I can't be in love with you. It was that I don't date.
That too. Yeah, she's like, I don't date. I don't fall in love.
Those are the words of a man that's gonna give you an eating disorder.
This is a woman in a male-dominated field. Mm-hmm. Very much. And he's like, his heart, like, hits the fucking center of the earth, obviously. and she just runs away from
they
him.
kiss.
No, like they had the moment, like, and he also does the I waited for this for so long in the middle of the kiss, which like is always just like a the kiss and then the break apart and then the whisper of I've waited for this for so long is gonna get me every single time. It's gonna get me every time. Like,
I feel like that time Eric got voted off of Survivor, fans versus favorites. That's how I feel right now.
that's how it feels right after he gave his immunity necklace to Natalie and then they voted his ass out. That's how I feel too. Just absolutely bamboozled after I've waited for this for so long. But literally the next night, James shows up to the apartment to pick them all up to go, and he's like, "Girl, why aren't you dressed? You're coming." So they convince her to go. Like, it takes like 2 seconds. She's like, "All right, I'll go." And it's a masquerade party for the Halloween thing, and they get her a dress, and it's giving she's leading James home for show. Like, they drive to his family. He's throwing it at his like family's mansion, and like he like.
By the way, his mom is Tiffany, as in from Tiffany's and Co. His mom is Tiffany.
Literally, like, he's filthy rich.
His mom is Chanel.
Yeah.
And his dad is Versace.
Literally, like, yeah. So he has this huge mansion, beautiful estate, like.
His dad is Versace.
Yeah.
Like, Donatella Versace.
Boom.
Boomski.
And so they get there, he, like, holds her hand out the car, they're walking up together, like, girl. Immediately, as soon as she gets there, she walks in, and she's like, I have to kiss someone. It's scary, I have to kiss someone. She goes up to the balcony, and somehow a man immediately finds her and makes out with her, I don't know.
Could not be me.
No, that's definitely never happened to me before. And
let us know in the comments
if it's happened to you. Yeah. And Dorian on his POV. We also get this particular scene at the party from both her side and his side, which I actually liked. I've never seen that. I don't know if I've ever seen that before either. I liked that. It was interesting. But yeah, from his POV, he sees her from below the balcony, and he's like, I know that back anywhere. Which I was like, whoa. And he's like, I know that back. I know that freckle. That's my girl. Why is she making out with that man?
Because why is she making out with that man?
She kissed me not 12 hours ago and then rejected me so rudely.
Yeah.
Ouch. So he walks his ass.
Yeah. No, if this happened to me, the whole night would be ruined for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't just be me going home. It would be you, our other friend, and like 4 other people are hovering outside that were being like, is she okay? Like, do we have to go? You know what I mean? And then, like,
we're done.
Well, no. And it would just be you and me that ends up going home. Everybody else will go back into the party. But everybody in our friend group would be hovering outside the Uber like, what happened?
Wait, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? Oh, should we leave? And then when they stay, they're like, should we go home? Should we also leave? Like, should we also go home? Yeah. It's gonna be awful. The vibes are fucking ruined.
It's gonna be bad.
And he immediately takes his ass up there, grabs her, holds her to the dance floor. I love when he takes control. He will pull her to the dance floor, and they start dancing, but he's like not looking at her, and she's like, the fuck?
She's like, loser.
Yeah, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like being very cold, obviously. And
I do much worse.
Yeah, I know. And she's like, well, I'd
be moving into the wall.
No, and she has the point. Yeah, and she has the nerve to be rude back. And she's like, I was fucking busy. And he was like, yeah, I saw. The fuck? But then they get called to dinner. Or she walks away or something. The music ends and she walks away. But they argue, and then she walks away. They go to dinner and they sit down. Of course, Dorian walks up right as she sits down next to James. And now she's like in the most uncomfortable situation of all time. Bro, at one point she tries to get up and they both put a hand on one of her thighs before she leaves, and I was like, ooh.
Dorian okay, fine.
They both have a hand on one thigh.
If James put his hand on my thigh,
no, I'd be like, what the fuck?
He would immediately, especially if I was standing, I don't even think I would have control over my hand. It would immediately be a backhand.
No, like, what the fuck are you doing? You're my friend.
Get off me.
What?
You have some fucking nerve.
Why is your hand on my thigh?
On my thigh?
In my silk dress.
Girl, do you see how good my back looks in this dress? Get your hand off my thigh. You are not meant. I'm not dating a man that goes to Sally's. Get your hand off my thigh. Absolutely not.
Clocked. So, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a man that shops at Sally's. But she does not want a man that goes to Sally's.
She wants Dorian.
She wants Dorian.
And she also at this point doesn't not know that James likes her. So why she doesn't question why his hand is on
No,
her
like
thigh.
at a certain point, you just have to backhand him.
No, like I would, of course, backhand it, and she does not question it at all. She just is like, oh my god, this is crazy. And then,
Oh my god.
what?
He's crazy.
Oh my god,
He's the crazy one.
Yeah, and then also, I don't know how, but Sabrina does not notice that she's sitting in between them.
Girl, you know what mask your friend came in, and I'm sure you know what mask Dorian is in at this point, because I'm sure
Right.
you've asked around. I'm sure you've asked James.
Yeah.
So,
Now, a couple days later, she's in the library and she ends up in one of those study rooms. You know how they have like study rooms in the library at colleges, and she hears some girlies in there talking about the Halloween party and about Dorian and the fact that he was dancing with a girl that was not Victoria, and she's like, oh fuck, that was me. And Dorian finds her in there, and she's like, first of all, how did you find me, stalker? And he's like, bitch, you're always in the damn library. You're in the same fucking spot every day. And they're like, she's like, well, I'm trying to listen, so shut the fuck up. And they're listening, and she's like, okay, well, this is not good, because now I'm gonna end up in the tabloids. And Miss Sylvia said that the board, TM, cannot know that I am seen with you.
the board of what? Nobody knows.
Right. Because I will get expelled, question mark.
But frankly, if I'm her and I'm worried about losing my scholarship, I'll give her that.
Fair enough,
I'm
fair
listening
enough.
to Sylvie. But to be fair, you're not stopping hanging out with him.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. I understand her concern, because why would she question what
I
this
understand.
professor says?
Yes, I understand her concern, but she's not doing anything about
Yeah,
it. So.
yeah. Now, they argue, because he's like, girl, why the fuck do you care so much what everyone thinks about this? Don't you like me? And she's like, you know what? Stay away from me. I care about my education more than you. And he's like, you know what, girl, fine. I will stay away from you. So they don't see each other for like a couple weeks.
I would be dying.
Me too. I would be calling back within days. Now, a couple days later, is at a cafe. James shows up, and he's like, oh, I went to the bookstore to see you, and they told me you were here. Like, what's poppin'? She's like, oh, well, I was working on a project, and I'm having trouble with it, and I'm just trying to figure out time to get it done, because I want to get it done before my birthday next weekend, so that I don't have to worry about it. And he's like, oh, well, I can help you, like, you need to take photos for this project, like, you can just come tonight. Me and Dorian are going to this movie premiere, like, come to the hotel we're getting ready at, and, like, we can just do the photo shoot real quick, super easy. And she's like, okay, like, I don't really want to see Dorian, to be fair. And he's like, not to worry, you won't see him, no problem. She's like, okay, go. So she gets there, and she helps him, or she's like in the room taking the photos with him, whatever. And then he's like, hey girl, do you want to go out with me? And she's like, what? She's like,
No.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, but I don't date. I don't date, honey.
She should have said, I don't like you. That's what she should have said.
That's what she should have said. She just said, oh, I see you as like a really
I want to
close.
fuck Dorian bad.
I see you as a really, really close personal friend. I think you're lovely. I love you as a friend. I feel like you're my best friend here, honestly.
She should have been honest. She shouldn't have got him down easy. She should have been honest. Because
I don't date.
Well, and also, I'd be going Dorian being like, set your friend fucking straight. Tell him what's going on between us. Like, whether there's nothing going on, like, tell him we slept together. And if he's
he
like...
knows!
And if he's like, Dorian's like, he knows, I'm gonna be like, well, your friends fucking hit on me. You do something about that.
Yeah, fix it.
Frankly, that has more to do with you than it does with me.
Yeah, fix it. He needs to stop. But yeah, she instead is like, I don't date.
I love that word, frankly.
She's like, I don't date. And, he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I asked that.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I asked that either.
I know. And so then he gets a little phone call from Dorian down the hall, and Dorian's like, I need someone to help me with my button, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm sure the woman can help you. I'll send the woman in the room to help you. And he's like, hey, Addie, do you sew? And she's like, I guess. And he's like, okay, go and help Dorian with his button. And she's like, I just told you I don't want to see that man. He's like, go help him. You're a woman. Like, what the fuck? Literally, when I tell you, right before she walked in, he had 1,800 people in his room helping him get ready. Why is she going to help him with the button?
Right. Well,
and you're trying to
plot along. That's fine.
Well, because in this moment, I put a sticky note in my book and I said, I can't understand if this man actually likes Addie or if he's trying to play matchmaker
it's like both
and figure out. Yeah, that's why I was like, I can't tell what his game is, what his end game is here. But she shows up at Dorian's door. Mind you, he's like disheveled, still trying to get ready, buttons are open.
Yeah, that would be bad for me.
Oh my god. And she gets in the room and he sits down on like the love seat at the end of his bed, and she's standing above him. Oh. this scene was bad for me too. There's a lot of scenes that are bad for me around this part of the book. And he's just like looking up at her and she's like, I'm having a lot of memories right now.
And he's like, we could just fuck right now.
Yeah,
and like, she's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like, oh, shut the fuck up. And so she's like trying to fix his button, whatever. She fixes it. And he stands up and he's like, what are you doing next weekend? She's like, it's my birthday. And he's like, okay, what are you doing for your birthday? She's like, I'm busy. Why? And he's like, girl, I'm trying to ask you out. What are you not understanding? She's like, I'm going out with the old ladies from my bookstore, okay? And he's like, okay, all day? And she's like,
well, yes.
Maybe, I don't know. And he's like, I want to hang out with you. We're friends at least. Like, please let me hang out with you on your birthday. I need him.
No, I need him.
I need him. And she's like, okay. She puts her hand on his tie and he like puts his hand on top of hers and he's like, please let me come. And she's like, okay, come to the bookstore at 6. And he's like, okay, I'll be there.
I'm walking out of there.
I know. And then they go to the dinner and it's all of the ladies from the book club and he's like, oh. And all the ladies are like, oh, not you're here. And she's like, the whole dinner, they're all talking like about their lives and he's so engaged in the conversation with all of these like older women and she is just staring at him like, oh my god, like
she's in love.
She's in love, like heart eyes, because like he's sitting there and he's like, imagine like a 22-year-old. I mean, when you were 22, but for us even now, as a 25-year-old man, like talking to like a group of like 80-year-old women and being engaged and actually talking and actually liking the conversation and caring.
Well, yeah, especially because it's like there's something about a man that like cares so much about what your friends think of him.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah.
It was certain men in our lives care what our friends think of them,
yeah.
but they don't do anything good about it.
Yeah.
Like care about what your friends think of them because they care about you, not because
yeah.
they care what other people think of them.
Yeah. So it was really cute and she's like, oh my god, like I'm so down bad. And then they get up to dance because there's a jazz band playing and this whole scene is just, this whole birthday scene was just really fucking sweet. Oh my god. Like they're on the dance floor and
I was picturing them like alone on the dance floor, like just dancing.
Yeah.
I can't mess with my hair too much because it's straw.
She's like, what do you think about me? And he's like, he's being really flirty too. He's being like very cheeky and flirty.
What do you think about me is giving when you're, oh wow. What do you think about me is giving when you're messaging your 6th grade crush being like, so who do you like? Like, girl, you know what he thinks about you. He loves you.
Me.
And you, all right.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. She was nervous.
But also you.
Yeah, but also me. And bro, he's sitting there like, I think you're like the most stunning thing that ever hit the planet. Like, what the fuck?
So what now?
Yeah. It was just, the whole scene was just so good. He's being very flirty and very like confident and hot, but also still very like yearning so much for her. Is a really good scene. And so after that, they walk home in the rain again. It's downpouring. They get to their house.
Fucking raining.
I know. They get to her house and they're like, okay, good night. And she runs inside. She loves keychains, like bag charms, I guess. And like he made her a little telephone booth thing and he tossed it up to her while she was on the balcony. And she was like, oh my fucking god.
But it's blue and it has little vines.
Yeah, it's the one from the cover of the book.
Cute.
And she was like, oh my god. So she pulled one off of her bag that she had, that he had mentioned to her before, and ran down and put it on his belt hook on her body. And like they hugged or whatever. And they were, what?
I'm just listening.
Oh yeah, they were like hugging. They didn't kiss, which I wanted them to. But after they get the gift and they hug in the rain and it's very cute. And she runs up and looks at him out the balcony and he looks like he's about to like burst by how happy he is that she put that on his like belt loop. He's just like overjoyed. It's so fucking cute. She walks back out and sees Sabrina asleep on the couch. And Sabrina is like in a haze being like, oh, I just can't wait until I like have a family of my own and like have like the house and the kids and like get to, live a life. And in her inner monologue, this girl is like, don't you already have enough?
You fucking hate Sabrina. Are you not doing enough to Sabrina right now?
Like, what the fuck? Like, why? Why that comment?
That was mean. That's the thing, is that, like, there's a lot of, like, she's very mean-spirited. She makes a lot of mean-spirited comments about her friends. I've certainly been really mean to people that are really nice to me because I'm mad about my life, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't mean I want to read it in a romance novel.
That's fair. Yeah. This is my escape from other stuff. So, now, we get to Christmas time, and Sabrina and Mia are leaving town, and on the way out, Sabrina's like, girl, are you sure you want to stay here by yourself? It's giving lonely and sad. And she's like, yeah, I want to stay here by myself. And Sabrina's like, girl, look, I know you're in love with James. And I want you to, if you want to be with him, girl, be with him.
Craziness.
I know. And this is the thing I was mentioning earlier where I was like, it kind of makes sense where she was like, kind of like not catching on about Dorian, because maybe the whole time she was like, well, she's in love with James. So the whole time, because to be fair, whenever she's seeing, a lot of the times when she's seeing her with,
I don't think that Sabrina should have ever caught on about Dorian, is my point. Except for the couple times where they were at a party or a dinner together, and it's like, if you like Dorian so much, you're watching him the whole time.
Yeah.
You have to know that you have to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But, like, outside of that, I would never assume that my friend was fucking the guy that I
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I see how, I'm just saying, like, I see how she was, like, completely oblivious because she's sitting here, like, this bitch is in love with James. Because every time she sees, at least every time she has seen her and him together.
But why wouldn't you be
all
like...
All three of them are there?
But why wouldn't you be like...
Put me on.
Yeah, why wouldn't you be like, you clearly talked to Dorian because you like James.
Put me on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, if I'm gonna be like, you're in love with James, you can be with James and I can be with Dorian.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like, it would still be self-serving.
Yeah. Also, at the Halloween party, she made a comment about how she was the only one who wasn't wearing like a dark colored dress. She was the only one wearing silver, and she's in the center of the party dancing with Dorian.
And those photos come out.
Leaked.
Yeah.
You know. It's me. You know it's me, and you're obsessed with him. You saw the photos. You know it's me. But so she's like, girl, I do not like James. Pack it up. The two girls leave. She's having a very lonely Christmas at home. She's by herself, but she's hanging. She's having a good time, just kind of like, you know, watching movies, hanging out, trying to avoid Dorian at all costs, because again, she's on the pushing him away for no reason.
But then Kurt shows up, the cat. Kurt, the cat, shows up, and so she sends Kurt, the cat, back with a cute little note to her neighbor, Maureen, being like, come get some tea. And Maureen comes in carrying her mail. And in her mind, I did think it was funny the way she was like, I don't think she should have grabbed my mail, but whatever. Maureen comes in. Maureen's a plot device, unfortunately. Maureen and Kurt come in, and they are holding a postcard from
the aunt.
From the aunt, and she's like shocked boots. And this annoyed me because I was like, so you expected her to text you, even though you hand wrote her a letter, A,
right.
And B, you didn't bother to check the mail.
Right. You sent her a postcard, girl.
Yeah.
Like, hello? Obviously.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah. But she's like, oh my god, she wrote back? And she ends up calling her, and they talk on the phone, and her aunt is actually, like, happy to hear from her. And she's like, oh my god, that's crazy. So we get kind of like a yay there. Because the whole book, she's like, me and my aunt, it's giving, we're not friendly, you know? Now on Christmas Eve, she's like getting ready to, I don't know, just like have a night in and watch a movie, and she goes out to get some pasta. On the way back in, she finds Dorian at her fucking door, drunk. And he's like knocking on the door being like, girl, I know you're in there, let me in. And she's like, okay. So she pulls up and he walks inside and he's like, why have you been avoiding me? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And they get into the kitchen and they're like they're going back and forth. They're like bouncing off each other. And
she literally sprays water in his face.
Yeah.
Boiling water?
It's not boiling.
You stuck your face.
Girl, it's not boiling water. That would burn his face.
Why did she put the water on the stove then to make the pasta?
She was filling the water on the sink and then threw it in his face.
Why did she throw it in her face?
Because you ever heard of flirting?
That's not flirting. That's annoying.
He threw it back in her face.
That's annoying. This is a $75 foundation. Do not flick water in my face.
I'm not wearing foundation. Flick water in mine. Period.
I look bald.
Oh, girl.
That's not funny.
So he's like, you know what? Fucking, let's go. Put your pants on and we're leaving again. So he takes her out with the driver again, and they pull up in front of the London Eye.
Yeah, this is upsetting.
This shit was fucking cute. This whole scene here, like, put me, again, I'm tumbleweeding down the hallway.
So they go on the London Eye, and also Dorian paid extra money to keep it open, like, late at night for them. Although I will say, if he's as famous as he is, why aren't the photos leaking? Honestly, that second. Because, like, when any celebrity goes anywhere, I feel like there's people on Twitter being like, I met so-and-so at the so-and place.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, like...
Harry updates? used to tell me every second where
Where's
he
Club
was.
Chalamet when you need him?
Right, exactly. Exactly. So he kept it open. They are walking across the London Bridge, or whatever bridge that is, and he's like, he has her hands in his pockets because he doesn't want to make her hands cold, and he puts his scarf around her, and they're walking, and it's snowing, and they get on the London Eye, and they're like only ones there, and like he's like holding her while they're in there, and he's like, open your eyes. She's so scared. He's like, open your eyes, look at it, and they're like, it's just so cute. Oh my god. And she's like, he's like trying to help her face a fear, you know, and also like do something off her bucket list, and it's like amazing, obviously.
It's so upsetting.
It's snowing, and you're at the top of the London Eye in the middle of the night, and it's just you two. Like, this is incredible. And they get off, and they're walking off the bridge. It starts to fucking pour down rain again in the middle of the snowstorm. So they run across the bridge and end up running into a phone booth. And while they're in there,
they kiss bad.
Bad.
This might as well have been a smut scene, the way I was quaking.
I know. But this is again why
the way there was a pulsing in my girl head. This might as well have been a smut scene.
And this is why I wanted to read a book without smut, because when they do kiss, when they do have these moments, like this was such a fleeting moment, but the tension was so heavy. This kiss was so intense that like it was even better, low key. Like, oh my god. And when they finally pull away, he's supposed to be leaving the next day to go on a holiday with his family. He's like, please tell me to stay. Please tell me to stay.
She's like, nah.
And he's like, I want you so bad. Like, please tell me to stay. And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go on holiday. When I come back, if you tell me still that you don't want me, I'll leave you alone. But I'll be back.
But you're not gonna tell me that.
No.
Tell me then.
Yeah. So then he leaves, and a couple days go by, and Mia comes home. They go out for New Year's, and that night she's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell him.
New Year's is the worst holiday.
I fucking hate New Year's. Every year it makes me fucking sad. But she's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell him that I love him. I'm gonna tell him I like him. I'm gonna do it. And she amps herself up, and then at midnight, photos drop of him and Victoria that night on Christmas Eve, that night at the phone booth, that night before he came to meet her, of him and Victoria kissing outside her apartment, Victoria's apartment. And she crashes out. So valid. Oh my god. The most
To be fair, I've seen a lot of people being really hard on him in this moment, which is fair. However,
yeah.
They did share that kiss in the rain then the next day at a party he was supposed to be at. She's kissing another man.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Yeah.
Let's call it even.
Yeah.
Let's just call it even.
She never lets him really explain it later when he comes back.
Yeah, he comes to the bookstore and he's like, hey queen, I'm here to walk you home. And she's like, no.
She's like, literally kill yourself. I understand though.
I'm in your walls.
Yeah. I understand though how hurt she feels though, because it's like, this is the most romantic night of my life that I've ever had.
Yeah.
And now I know that like 10 minutes prior, someone else's lips were on
It's
your mouth.
upsetting.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
I was pretty mad.
Yeah. Before he had come to the bookstore, he had left a gift at her apartment. And so
She doesn't know this yet.
She doesn't know this yet. But when he gets there, she's like, he tells him to fuck off, and he's like, damn.
I already left the gift in.
Yeah, and he also has a back pocket full of like little trinkets and things that he got for her in Italy.
Well, to be fair, you know what you did.
Yeah.
And also, if you know you're a celebrity, wouldn't you say, hey, like, these photos might come out, and if they
That's
do,
what I
like,
say.
I just want to tell you, like, I went over there to break up with her.
Yeah.
She tried to kiss me because she didn't want us to break up, and I pushed her off, and I left immediately after.
Yeah.
But also, you went over there with paint on your hands after we went to the painting place.
Because also,
how am I supposed to trust you?
in his monologue, he's like, damn, I forgot about that. No, literally, when she brings it up, he's like, oh, damn, I forgot about that. Those pictures, damn, I forgot about those. Like, if I saw those pictures and I was him, I'd be like,
That's 2 strikes.
I need to call her immediately.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
He's like, oh, I didn't think you'd care.
Yeah, girl, no, of course, and you know me. At this point, you know me. I'm gonna leave at the slightest inconvenience.
That's true.
Yeah. But she gets home, and when she gets home, Sabrina has come back from holiday, and she had brought up the mail. There are 2 gifts in the mail. One of them is a smaller gift. It's a purse made by Miss Tiffany, James's mother. And
purses.
yeah, a little purse.
I prefer a purse over a dress.
Well,
the other one's a dress.
The other one's a little dress.
I prefer the purse.
Me too. I want a little purse. So she's like, not the gifts. And she thinks that the dress is from Dorian, and that the purse is from James. And she's like, not my two boyfriends. And so there's a party happening.
But they don't match.
It's true, they don't. There's a party.
And she was like, oh, weird, they don't match.
Interesting.
Guess he's got bad taste. I don't know.
Yeah. So we also, there's a party happening called the January, and she, again, gets convinced to go. She shows up to the party in the dress.
Girl, you didn't know you were going to go.
Right, like, stop. Pissing me off. I was like, I don't want to go, you guys. Okay, you convinced me. So she goes, and they get there, and she's wearing the dress. Immediately he sees her, and before she can even hit the dance floor, he's in front of her, and he pulls her to the dance floor. And again, they have their, like, you know, their little tiff, and he's like, first of all, like, but, you know, he's just upset, and she's like also upset. But before they can even get into it, James cuts in. He's like, can I have this dance, queen?
And Dorian literally goes, no, but it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late. He's pulled her away, and they start dancing.
The idea of him going, no.
Kind of hot.
That's hot.
It's hot. So he pulls her away. Dorian's like, okay. So they walk off, and eventually they end up outside. And he's like, oh, so do you like the dress? And she's like, what? I thought you got me the purse. And he's like, I didn't get you any fucking purse. I got you this dress. And she's like, what? And he's like,
he's also aggressive in my opinion.
In this scene, I was like, ooh, what's
cute,
up? Yeah. And he's like, oh, like, what the fuck? I thought
you know that I'm in love with you?
Yeah, he's like, girl, I love you. And she's like, what? And he's like,
imagine somebody you've never even kissed once telling you they love you. Excuse me? Oh my god, I
don't think they've really hung out alone except for when they walked to class together.
What's crazy is that we could have been dating for 10 months and you tell me you love me. Oh, I'm out. Oh, I'm gone. Love is a strong word and you're doing too much.
I don't know about that for me, but
this is a strong word.
This is strong for people who have not really hung out really alone together, who are just friends, who has already asked me out and have already told you no.
We've never kissed, we've never had sex, we've never been on a date, nothing.
Yeah, so what? And he's like, I thought that if I got you this dress and you wore it tonight, it would mean that you actually like me back, even though I know you clearly like...
Mind you, he's already been rejected.
Right, he's already been rejected, and he's like, I know that you don't date, and obviously like you have a problem admitting things to yourself, but no, literally he's literally like, I know you have a problem with like really coming to terms with this stuff, but like I thought if you wore the dress, maybe it'd be a sign that you like me back. And she was like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? I told you I don't do this. Like,
well, also, if somebody sends me a dress, I'm wearing the dress.
Girl, it's just nice. I'm wearing it to the pool.
Are you kidding? Like, this is a Tiffany dress. I didn't even know Tiffany made dresses. Yeah. I'm wearing this to the pool.
This shit's staying on. I got that shit on me. Are you kidding? And so he's like, okay, well, she's like, I don't do this. I'm not gonna fall in love. I don't believe in love. I'm not doing this. And he's like, who do you think gave that to you? She's like, what? He's like, who do you think gave you that dress? And she's like, what? And he's like, Dorian. And she's like, no. And he's like, yes. You thought it was Dorian, didn't you? And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, but... And he's like, yeah, of course it was Dorian.
Why are you so mad? I've already
obviously, literally, he's like, obviously I think it was Dorian, but we've slept together. We hang out every day. We would, like, are you... Dude, how can you be mad at that? Like, yeah, obviously. And so he storms off all, like, pissed. Like, he's mad.
By the way, I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. They never make up. Like, there's no makeup scene. They just, like, are suddenly friends again.
Yeah.
No makeup scene.
No makeup scene. They're just kind of, like, they hash it out.
If someone yelled and screamed and threw a tantrum like that at me, we would have to talk about it. We would have to say...
We have to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah, and in fact, I would probably apologize. So I'd be like, the fact that I made you feel that way is, like the fact that I made you feel so much emotion, the fact that you felt the need to yell, scream, and throw a tantrum, I want to say I'm sorry.
There's a lot to
But
talk
also...
about.
You need to say you're sorry for speaking to me like that. I'm sorry that I made you, because like I said, I really was planning to live in that man's walls, so I understand what it means to crash out. So I would apologize. I would say I'm really sorry. Like,
there's a lot to talk about.
Somebody like when someone does something like that to you in your mind, that's really hurtful. So I get it. I see where you're coming from, but also,
I think there has to be a conversation happening between a lot of people.
Dorian had me to box.
No, literally. So
they need a fist fight. Yeah. They just need to get it out.
As he leaves, Dorian enters and he's like, "Hey, girl." Thing is, and she's crying on the steps. And mind you, before he even says anything about what has just happened, like what he's about to say, he's like, "Oh my god, like, are you okay?" Like he's like cupping her face, trying to like make sure she's fine. I want to die. And then she's like, "I have to go home." And he's like, "The thing is, you can't go home that way, because actually the news is just broke that you are the mystery girl that I've been seeing. Because we also forgot to mention that a couple of days before this, pictures of her and him had leaked of them kissing in the photo booth.
And not only did it leak that it's her, but also, like, they're like, her mom doesn't like her. Her dad doesn't like her, so she moved here.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is her address.
She lives with her aunt. Ooh.
This is her major. These are her friends. Like, all her information. She's like,
bad.
oh my god. So she hits feet.
Also, she hits feet back to the apartment. Sabrina and Mia beat her there.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say, I might forgive you for a brief second to say, like, somebody was clearly stalking you to have this information.
Yeah.
I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah.
I hope you're doing okay with that information. Also, you should probably lock the door, because if you're in danger, it's because I live here and I'm gonna kill you. Like, Sabrina, fairly enough, crashes out and is like, how could you fucking... Sabrina is like, says, oh, she actually did a really nice job of putting into the emotions that I think I would be feeling. She said, first of all, how could you lie? Second of all, you must have thought I looked so fucking stupid pining for him when you were fucking sleeping with him and lying to me about it. The lying, I think, is the problem. Yeah. I think Sabrina could have gotten over that you're with him. The lying. Yeah. And letting me yap about him in your fucking face. Made me feel so fucking looking me stupid. Dead in my fucking face, being like, you still have a chance with him, knowing you're sleeping with him.
And the third thing being, like, the fact that you thought that I wouldn't be able to, like, handle it, and that, like, I would be so distraught with
when I don't even know this man. Like, girl.
Literally. Like, what the fuck?
I will say I would not handle it well if I found out you were sleeping with Nicholas Galitzine. That would be hard for me.
Okay. Well, regardless.
I don't know if it would be friendship ending, but it would certainly be hard.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I like the emotions that they showed of Sabrina in that moment. I was like, okay, that was
But also, Sabrina's just like, just give me a couple days. Just give me some space. And so she does apologize, but then she retreats to her room, gives Sabrina the space that she needs. Yeah. But then, like, the next morning, Sabrina comes into her room and is like, so is he a good kisser? Absolutely not.
I would need a lot more space than that. Yeah,
boots fast. Because it's the lying. No. For months. For months.
Yeah, it would be a lot. It would take me a long time to get over.
Because, like, if you told me the story and you were like, I slept with him one night, and then the next day I found out who he was, and I just didn't want to tell you, and I didn't want to hurt you, I would say, yeah, that's fair enough. But then you kept seeing him. Yeah.
No, the lying, it would take me a long time. I would
be like, lying. Especially because, honestly, they were only friends for 2 months before she started doing this. I'd be like, we're not
close enough. We're not close enough for you to have been doing all this.
Most of our friendship. Yeah, she's lied for most of their friendship.
And you use me as an excuse because you just didn't want to face the fact that you actually loved him. Mm-hmm. Like, why am I in it? You couldn't dead ass just told me.
You look so fucking pathetic.
Yeah, why? And you were also in his face being like, my friend loves you. Like, girl, making me look dumb as fuck. No. Yeah, she forgave her way too quick and way too easily for me. And yeah, it's bad. So she calls her aunt another time, and they have a really good conversation about their relationship, and things kind of get smoothed over between them, which is nice. Heart. And later she goes to the book club again, and Maureen is there, and she finally confesses to herself, more so than anyone, that she loves him.
She found Maureen friends.
I know. And then, so she confesses to herself, finally, that she's like, yeah, I love him. But then a couple days later, Sab comes into her room and she's like, someone's here to see you.
Absolutely not. She received a text message from me.
Yeah. Someone's downstairs, period. I forgive you, but not too fucking much.
Someone's downstairs, period, and also all the letters are lowercase, even though I have auto cap on.
Yeah, and also, like, there are knives lined up on the staircase downstairs.
Oh, you fell on those?
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have left my knives out. Anyways, they have their big reveal moment, and they have their confession of love, and they kiss in the rain, and the big moment.
And then she's like, but wait, I'm gonna graduate in a few months. We can't stay together. 3 sentences later, he immediately forgives. He immediately convinces her to stay a few months after graduation. He's like, just stay for a few months. We'll go from there. You're rich as fuck. You can pay my rent. Frankly, yes, I'm staying.
Yeah, period. He would have convinced me too.
Why even have her be like, but wait, girl, And then she also gets her dream job.
No, literally,
And
like
moves to Scotland.
I love it when the book ends. Like this is not even just this is like I feel like this is with most authors. It's like the book is wrapping up and they're like, we just gotta last chapter, everything is getting fixed. It's like that last chapter, they graduate. She gets her dream job in the line for graduation. They find out that Sylvie, her professor, was Victoria's mother, and she made up that bullshit about the board not liking her people hanging out with Dorian. But that shit made me giggle. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was a little bit of an unnecessary. I was like, ooh, but it was an unnecessary detail to add.
Yeah, but it made me giggle. It definitely was unnecessary, but it was.
I liked it. I was like,
gaggleish. Okay.
Yeah, it was gaggleish. It was gaggleish, but it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, but gaggleish.
Yeah.
And then she sends her little postcard to Marty back in the U.S. Marty, my king. And then her last chapter, or last thing, her and Dorian go to France to visit his sister, and I don't know, they just have like a cute little moment in their house, in his sister's house, and it was very cute. So yeah, that was the whole book. Give it your quick little rating.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 because I enjoyed it. I think, like, for example, the bucket list was very pleasant to read. I liked Dorian a lot. The only thing, I wasn't a super big fan of the writing. I think there were certain tropes that she used that I wasn't a big fan of. I do think there was a lot of words that were, like, repeated, like, for the same time, like, for multiple times on the same page. I was just kind of like, But I enjoyed reading it, and also I did hate the female main character, unfortunately. The line to Sabrina, I honestly think, was so unforgivable for me. I think that's the reason I didn't like the book, is that it was just so unforgivable, and we were just kind of expected to forgive it. I think it's because we were supposed to think that Sabrina was crazy. And also, another thing that I noted was that a lot of the hangouts were between Mia and Adelaide, and not the three of them hanging out. I think that was deliberate, so that way we didn't feel as bad as Sabrina, because we had no real connection to her.
That's true.
Aside from she's Adelaide's friend. I didn't like that. You lied to your friend for 6 months.
Good point.
And she forgave you in 2 seconds. You don't deserve that, girl.
Good point. Clink. Good point. Yeah, that's a really good point. I really like this book.
That's
maybe
fair.
because
it was a pleasant read. Like,
it was a very pleasant
I
read.
enjoyed it. I just didn't like that. Like, I can't forgive.
No, I
the
can definitely see where you're coming from, though, for sure. Because the thing with me too also is, like,
but the love story was nice.
The love story was really nice. I was really just looking to read, like, something very romantic and something that made me feel very gushy inside. And I think that this made me feel really gushy, but also, like I said earlier, like, I feel like this touched, like, a fantasy of mine that is, like, really deep rooted. And so I think it just hit something special in my heart, you know?
It got me out of my reading slump, I'll say that.
That too. I flew through this bitch. Really.
We're 10 days into 2025 and I've already read 2 books.
Yeah.
Because of this book. So.
Yeah. So, like, I really commend her for that. I will also say, like,
it's impressive that it's self-published. It's impressive that she's so young.
Yeah.
It's also the perfect length.
It's the perfect length. Oh my god.
I didn't feel like anything was dragging.
Yeah, really. I thought that, like, I really liked the banter between them. I thought he was, like, the perfect, like, lovable, like, hot. Like, I loved him. Like, I definitely agree with the critiques you have too, though, for sure, like, about, like, things that were repetitive or, like, plot devices that were kind of, like, could be worked on. But those are things I think that she can get better with over time. And I stand behind this book. I love this book. First of all, you'll be getting a DM from me when I get home tonight. And also, I'll be reading all the books you published after this.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
I was like, who's getting a DM?
Her. This author of me saying I loved this book. It was just, I loved it. It was like a really good, like, light, breezy, fun read for me. And I give it a nice 4 out of 5. Things to work on for sure, but, like, honestly, you know, also
it was very enjoyable. It was very cozy. It was a nice cozy read.
Yeah, and you know what? I was interacting with my book, which I don't annotate. Here I was, like, annotating. And also, one of my dreams of life has always been to, like, write a book, like, write a rom-com. Something that has always felt very far-reached for me, but, like...
We'll get there.
Yeah, it's always felt very far-reached for me, but, like, because I'm dumb. But I read this, and I felt...
Can you imagine?
I know.
I'm going to cut this out, but can you imagine our episode on your book?
But yeah, I read this and I was like, I feel very inspired, like I could do it. You know what I mean? So I felt, I felt very like, my heart felt really like attached to it in a way. So I loved it. I loved you, Queen. You ate. Love you. So yeah, that was our review. If you loved this book, or if you want to read this book, go get it on Amazon. Support our Queen.
More importantly, please like this video.
That too.
Please subscribe. Please leave us a comment of what you thought of this book. And if you haven't read it, please leave us a comment of what you want us to read next.
Please do.
Please join us next week, and please do us a favor and watch last week's video as well. I know it was very Christmassy, but just do us a favor.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah. I was going to say, if you want to read this book, don't read any free online versions. Go buy the book on Amazon or something. She's a small self-published author. Give her her support and actually buy her book, please, because she's doing this on her own, okay? But yeah, if you like this video, do all the things, share with your friends. Happy New Year, girl.
Go listen to us to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're more important than the book. Unfortunately. It is our YouTube channel.
Bitch.